Naruto Shippuden Clash of Ninja Revolution 3. You know, I remember this game, and, watching the animated show this game is based off of Disney XD. I remember those being what got me into Naruto Shippuden overall. And yeah, I grew up with this game, really enjoyed it growing up, but does this game still hold up well to me as an almost 18-year-old boy, as an over 17-and-a-half-year-old boy? Well, let's find out. Here's my review on Naruto Shippuden Clash of Ninja Revolution 3. First category to cover, graphics. Alright, I don't want to take too long on this, but the game doesn't really add anything that new in this category. To me, the graphics of this game are basically just a Naruto Shippuden version of Naruto Clash of Ninja Revolution 2's graphics. Yeah, in terms of, adding new stuff to the graphics, this game is really lacking in that department, but is that exactly a bad thing? No. I think the graphics still look really nice. I like the widescreen it has the similar widescreen quality that Clash of Ninja Revolution 2 has. And I like how it's overall a Naruto Shippuden version of Clash of Ninja Revolution 2's graphics. Look really nice. Alright. Yeah, not that much to cover. Now moving on to the topic of sound. More new stuff to cover in this category. I think the game is very good in sound too. Like the sound effects are nice. I find the sound effects to be nice to listen to and are fitting and all that. And I also think the game has really good music in it too. It takes most of the songs, if not almost every, it takes probably almost every single song that was in Revolution 2 and adds some new songs in there. And the new songs that are added in there are very good in my opinion. So yeah. So yeah, not that much else to say about the sound. Moving on now. Okay, now at this point in the video I want to be more specific with the game modes of this game. First up is story mode. Okay, so I know that people hated Revolution 2 story mode for being an all filler story mode, and yeah, it wasn't even it wasn't even like it's a filler. It was a filler story mode that had anything from the Naruto shows or any of the Naruto movies. No, it was literally all its own filler story mode. It was literally all its own filler story mode. Just strictly game filler story mode. It had new characters that you don't see in the Naruto shows or movies themselves. And yeah, people hated Revolution 2 story mode because of that, and it had some dumb stuff in it. But yeah. Is this story mode in this game like that? No. Instead, it rather covers the early events of Naruto Shippuden, the beginning of Naruto Shippuden, with Naruto and Jiraiya, with spoilers, Naruto and Jiraiya returning back to the village after 2 or 3 years with Naruto being out the village, being out the Hidden Leaf village, and going to train with Jiraiya. And it also covers the whole Deidara arc with Gaara being taken, Gaara being kidnapped, and them being on, then saving Gaara with Team Kakashi, Team Guy, all that, and yeah. Now, okay, what else is there to talk about with the story mode? Well, how good is it in terms of skill? Well, in terms of skill, I would say it's better than Revolution 2 story mode because there's still a lot of easy fights that you can get through. That you can get through in no time. There's still some fights that are pretty hard. Oh my gosh! I have done this final fight where you take control of Nine-Tailed Fox Naruto and go up against Deidara so many times, and apart from one time, I cannot remember a single time where I won this fight. Oh my gosh, in this fight, you have to take control of Nine-Tailed Fox Naruto. Yeah, and Deidara has this big shield thing on him, and he can whoop your butt pretty easily, so it can be pretty hard to defeat him. And yeah, you have to, not only does he have this big shield thing, but you also have to finish him off with this special jutsu, which I might not be able to show you in this video. I'm about to die! Oh, wait, hold on. Ah! But yeah, let me make this more of a review video rather than a gameplay video. But yeah, that fight's so hard, and there are other fights in the story mode that are hard like this too. And yeah, not to mention in this part of the story where Nine-Tailed Fox Naruto goes up against Deidara, there really isn't that much fighting between Naruto and Deidara here. If I'm correct, didn't Naruto only land one hit on him? It wasn't really that big of a fight, which moves on to my next point. The next point about the story mode. Accuracy. Okay, in terms of accuracy, while I would say the game overall does a good job with covering the beginning of Shippuden and the saga it covers, I wouldn't say it does the job 100% accurately. There's some things that messes up. For example, the part where in the story where they meet this old character named Granny Chio, they said that they met they said that they met her at the desert. What? No, they didn't meet at the desert. If I'm correct, they met her at some infirmary or something. What? No, this didn't take place in the desert. And also at that part of the story where they meet Granny Chio, you also have Granny Chio fighting against Tamari. And if I remember correctly, Granny Chio didn't really fight Tamari that much in the story. What? Is this supposed to be some kind of random filler fan service with Grady Chio and Tamari, or is my memory being hazy? But to be honest, there's still a lot of Naruto that I haven't seen, but I still know some of the story of Naruto. And this scene right here, where Kakashi's trying to use his new jutsu on Deidara, right here in this scene, Deidara is not supposed to have arms here, but as I'm showing you right now, Deidara is actually shown to be having arms here. Like, what the heck? Although, to be fair, I can understand why they wouldn't be able to show Deidara with his arms being torn off like that. I can see how it would be. I can see how it would be too expensive to show. So I guess that passes. But still, despite those mess ups, the game still does a good job with covering, what it covers. And yeah, for example, like with the, it does a good job with capturing that fight against the, with the Team Kai fighting the clones of themselves. Yeah, it doesn't even have you fighting against palette swaps. This fight where you basically take control of Guy and you have to fight against Guy. It does a good job with having the guys copy each other's moves, and yeah, it doesn't even have you fight against a different color of guy too. Despite the fact that in this game, if two people pick the same character, then they'll have to play in different colors of that character. So yeah, despite those flaws, I still think the story mode does a good job with accuracy, and I think the cutscenes. I think that the cutscenes are done pretty well, and they're pretty enjoyable to watch, although there might not be that much point to watching them if you're able to watch the Naruto Shippuden show itself and, get a more accurate experience with the story, but I still enjoy watching the cutscenes. I really enjoyed watching the cutscenes of the story mode when I was little. And speaking of the cutscenes, there's also, remember how in Revolution 2, where there was a mode that allows you, where there was a mode in the extra zone that allows you to just view the cutscenes without having to do the fights? Well, there's a nice, this game has a nice feature too. A nice feature that Revolution 1 didn't have, so that's nice. Yeah, not to mention, after you complete the story mode, you get this nice montage with the end credits that shows footage from the Naruto Shippuden show itself. If you want to know why you're looking at a pitch black screen right now, it's because, I'm playing that end credits thing on my TV right now, and I'm not showing the footage because I gotta prevent copyright from TV Tokyo. Like, seriously, if you got if you want to make YouTube content on animes like Naruto or Bleach, then you gotta watch out for TV Tokyo. But yeah, after you go to that nice extra thing with the credits, you get introduced to this cutscene where we are introduced to this character named Sai, who is one of the playable and unlockable characters of this game. But apart from this cutscene, he doesn't appear anywhere in the story mode. And after this cutscene, that's the end of the story mode, and you have completed the story mode. But does that mean you have unlocked all the characters yet? No. In fact, you don't unlock any of the characters through the story mode. The characters you have to unlock are through this shop right here. And Bondo, who was one of the new filler characters in the previous game, he was the worker of the shop, but once you unlock him, he'll leave the shop, which is a nice feature if you ask me. Oh, getting off the topic of story mode, kind of. Yeah, anyway. Probably should have covered that later in the review, but whatever. But yeah, with all that being said, the story mode, despite its flaws with, the inaccuracy it can have with certain parts, and despite its flaws with that kind of stuff, and how some fights can be too hard, it's still a really enjoyable story mode, and it can be fun to going back to those hard fights to see, to see how hard they really are, to see if I can really complete those fights. So yeah, overall, really good story mode. Now I want to go over other modes of this game. All right, really good story mode. Now let me focus on other stuff. There's also some online. This game also has an online mode to it with the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection thing. Nice thing to add, nice to play against people online. And there's also a training section where you can practice your moves and combos. And there's a tutorial thing, and there's also squad training where you can do training in a 2-man squad team. And this single training, which works the exact same way as squad training, just with 2v2 instead of 4v4 in squad teams. No. No, I meant 1v1. My bad, silly me. So yeah, there's training mode. Nice section to go to when you want to practice your moves, of course. Moving on to the topic of extras, I already covered the shop. So yeah, Ninja Info Card. This is where you can view various player data. There's also the ranking section, where you can view rankings for each mode, as it says. There's also the media player, where you can listen to voices, sound effects, music from the game. Nice mode to go to. Nice to not have to go online. Nice to not have to go online and be able to sit down and listen to. Nice to not be able to have to go online to be able to sit down and listen to the music without doing the fights. And there's the story viewer thing, which I already covered when I was talking about the story mode. Nice feature. All right, now options. And options, there's the game options. You can change game rules. There's controller settings where you can change the, of course, change controller settings. There's a sound where you could change sound settings. There's the game data. Change save settings, save game data, and there's also the restore settings. And yeah, okay. Covered a lot of stuff in this game. Now I want to be more specific with the versus mode. There's 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, 4 players in the spectator mode. And in spectator mode, you basically get to watch the computers duke it out against each other. And there's 4 players where 4 people can play against each other, 3 players where 3 people can play against each other, 2 players where 2 people can play against each other. Now let me be more specific with the 1-player modes. There's the mission list where, like in Revolution 2, this is where I would recommend going to for when you want to unlock characters. In this mode, it works very similar to how it works in Revolution 2. In this mode, you pick a character, you do a mission, and after you do the mission, the game will rank how well you did on a mission. It works just like this in Revolution 2, and I think it works really well. And I highly recommend going here for when you unlock characters. It's a really enjoyable mode. 1-player battle is a mode where you can play against the CPU, 2-man squad, single player, 3 players, 4 players. And yeah, just like how in Revolution 2, you could have only 3 people play against each other in a fight, unlike in Revolution 1. Nice thing to have. Score attack, one of the modes in the game that you can do in either 2-man squad or single. And it's a fun mode that you do where you basically play through 10 fights, either in 2-man squad or in single, and it counts how many points you earn. And yeah, it counts how many points you earn from those 10 fights, and it's a nice mode to do. Time attack, yeah, another mode in this game that you can do in either 2-man squad or single. Like in the previous mode, you play through 10 rounds, either in single player mode, you play through 10 fights, but the difference between this and score attack, it's more of a time thing than the other mode. In this mode, it keeps track of how long it takes you to defeat the enemies, when to fight, all that stuff. Nice, fun mode to do. Survival, next up to cover it, if I remember correctly. This is one of those unlockable. This is one of those unlockable things in the game, and you'd see another one of those modes that you can do in either single player, in either single mode or 2-man squad mode. Okay, so yeah, in this mode you pick your character or characters, and you play through a bunch of fights, and you play through all these fights until you die. It's a fun mode to do for when you want to play the game, when you want to play a game mode for an extended amount of time. Another survival mode that's in this game is this mode from the last game called Kumai. However the heck you pronounce that word. But yeah, so yeah, this is another fun survival mode where you play up against a bunch of rogue ninja, and you play until you die. It's one of those fun play until you die modes. And again, I think this mode works well for when you want to play the game, for when you want to play one game mode for an extended amount of time. Nice mode in my opinion. There's also 2-player versions of score attack, time attack, and survival, which basically work the same way as the 1-player versions of those modes, just with a 2-player version. Nice thing to have. Alright, so I think I've covered all the game modes that are in this game, and that's about it for the review, guys. No, the review does not end there. No, I want to be more specific with how the controls are in this game. The controls of this game, in my opinion, are done very well. It's not that hard to get used to the controls of this game if you're used to the controls of the previous Clash of Ninja Revolution games. The controls were really nice, simple, easy to get used to. And yeah, I prefer playing while I'm holding the remote like this, sideways like this, rather than holding it up and down angle like that. Even though that's how I used to play these games when I was little. But yeah, I've gotten more used to playing it and the side thing, and the side remote thing over time. And I prefer playing it like that now. That's the better way to play these games. This game also gives you a variety of stages to play, and it adds some new stages that you don't get to see in previous Naruto games, so that's nice. The game has a good chunk of stages to pick from, and yeah, good job with varying the stages, giving us a lot of stages to play with. Yeah, and how could I do this review without going over the handicap settings? Oh my gosh, something that you don't get to see in previous Naruto games. Here, you can customize the fights to, to be able to play in free-for-all matches, more like how you'd be able to play in certain fights in the story mode. Like you could have a certain player not be defeated without a secret, not be able to be defeated without a secret technique, or guard secret technique, all that stuff. It's a nice thing where you can customize fights, determine how weak it, get the control of how weak players are. It's a pretty fun thing to add in. It's a nice thing to add into the game. How could I do this review without talking about that? Nice new thing to add into the game. It gives this game more of a challenge to it, if you ask me. Now, to be more specific, I want to be specific with the jutsus that you can do in this game, with the special moves and all that stuff, speaking of those. Okay, so, yeah, there's a good chunk of special moves that they hadn't changed in this game, but, like, there's still some special moves that they left in, but added a upgrade to it, making it unique and different. For example, look at Naruto's Rasengan in this game.
Here goes! Jutsu! Here comes the big one!
Nice change to it, huh? A nice change to the Rasengan that makes it look more like Naruto's actually pushing the Rasengan. As for the team attacks that were added to the last game, well, they're still there, and probably every single team attack that was in the last game is in this game, except for that one from the last game with Sasuke and Kakashi doing the double Chidori thing. So, yeah, instead, if you do a team attack with Sasuke and Kakashi, it'll just be the normal default team attack, like so.
Help me! Come here! We can try. I'll finish this. It's over.
Sorry if that's disappointing to everyone, but they took it out. Although it is pretty understandable why they would do that, though. I don't think Sasuke really has any team attacks with anyone in this game. It makes sense since that he became more of a solo guy in Shippuden. Although, of course, he still did team-ups in the show. But if I'm correct, apart from that one team attack, though, every single team attack that was in the last game is in this game.
Let's go!
Leave it to me!
Let's get it on!
Please!
It's over.
Amazing! Here we go!
Are you ready?
Here goes!
Earth style, dark swap!
Count on me!
Go in, Naruto!
It's coming pretty soon!
I guess that's good enough.
Give me a hand!
Here we go!
Okay, I'm sure you guys get the point. Sorry if I was dragging on a bit with that part. I just felt like showing off some of the cool team attacks that this game has to offer. Even though I didn't really do that much of that in my Revolution 2 review, if I remember correctly. Okay, let me just finish up this review. Alright, next thing about this video game I want to cover is its character roster. It has a pretty big roster, and it has almost every single character that was put in previous Revolution games. Apart from Ino, it has every single character that was put in the previous Revolution games, but it has the Naruto Shippuden versions of them, obviously, because this is a game for Naruto Shippuden, not for the original Naruto show. But yeah, I wonder why Ino's not in this game, though. I mean, sure, she might not have done that much in Shippuden, but she was still a fighter in Shippuden. I wonder why she wasn't in this game, especially if she was in the previous Revolution games. Oh well, not a big deal to me, though. The character roster is certainly nice. You still get a lot of characters. Apart from, you still get every single character that was put in previous Revolution games. Well, almost every character that was put in previous Revolution games. You remember Second Sasuke from the previous game? He's not in this game either. And Awaken Hinata isn't in this game either, so yeah. So, yeah, those characters are in the game, but I guess I can understand why they wouldn't be put in the game. And, you also get... But yeah, pretty much apart from those, you get every single character that was put in previous Clash Ninja Revolution games, and you also get you even get the filler. You even get the game filler characters that were in Revolution 2. So yeah, that was a nice touch. And they have different voice lines in this game. And yeah, you also get the new characters that were introduced in Shippuden, like Hiroko and Deira, which you see in the story mode. And there's also Kakuzu and Hidan, who don't appear in the story mode of this game, but they're still playable characters in this game. I wonder why these two are playable characters in this game, yet they don't appear in the story mode of this game. Like, seriously, like, I don't get it. Well, to be fair, this game does, if I'm correct, this game came out in, like, what, 2007, 2008? It came out during the early days of Naruto Shippuden, so was there not really that much in the arc that these two characters were in at the time this game came out? I don't know, I wonder why. I wonder why they're in the game, but not put in the actual story mode for this game. I'm sure there's a good reason behind it though. But yeah, the game has a really good roster. And yeah, but for the starter roster, if we're talking about the starter roster, it is really small. Like, oh my gosh, really small. Definitely smaller than it is in previous Flash Ninja Revolution games. The only starter characters you get are Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura, Guy, Neji, Tenten, Rock Lee, and Gaara. Apart from these characters, there are no other starter characters in the game, and the rest you have to unlock yourself through the shop. And you know, once you unlock every character, you see the trademark things or whatever the heck. You see this big green thing that's surrounding the roster. Once you unlock all the characters, you unlock this big green thing that surrounds the roster, and in my opinion, it makes it look nicer. So yeah, roster very good. And, you know, I think the game does a good job with capturing the Naruto feel despite doing some inaccurate things in the story mode and possibly some of the attacks. But I still think it does a really good job with capturing the Naruto feel. And, yeah, you know, I think it's about time I go over the conclusion. I go over my final thoughts about this game. So, yeah, this review has been over 20 minutes long. Let me close it off here. Okay. Overall, I think the game is very strong. And you remember how in the previous video where I said that Revolution 2 is my favorite Naruto game for the Wii? Well, I might want to change that opinion because I think this game comes to a really close level of Revolution 2. And I think it's a very strong game. And, you know, and I think it's a really good game. It's based off of Naruto Shippuden. You know, nice for one of the early Naruto Shippuden games. And I feel like this might be the very first Naruto Shippuden game ever. Yeah. Seriously, am I wrong on that? I feel like this is the very first Naruto Shippuden game ever. I'm not 100% sure if that's true. But I feel like it is to me. So yeah, overall I feel that this is a very good Naruto game that gives the player a good chunk of stuff to do, gives you a lot of characters to play as, and you know, I think it's really enjoyable, really nice old Naruto game, and a nice easy recommendation for Naruto fans out there. It has really good graphics, has really good sound, all that stuff. Okay, I'm dragging this review out. Alright, my final score, I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10, and goodbye you guys. I'm going to close off this video with this cutscene.
Let's just leave it at